Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft. Okay, today we're going to talk more about that family camping and etc. Now for cooking sets and etc. As I've said many times in my videos, I believe in the pendulum of swing one way for less, swing one way for more. Scale it up, scale it down. You have to look and figure out what you really need for the given situation. There's no sense carrying a ton of gear that you don't need. So in the most basic idea of that is we're going to start out with the idea of what am I carrying to eat, and then make an appropriate cook set for that. Now for me personally, most of my personal camping, the canteen cup set does all of it. I carry in my canteen cup carrier, U.S. Army canteen cup, one of the issued canteen cups, either the butterfly handle or the straight handle, one of the stoves, and a supply of aluminum foil and eating utensils. With that, I can do 90% of my stuff, because the vast majority of my stuff I'm going to be carrying is going to be single pot type, heat it up, boil it, add water to it, heat it up, stir it up, something like that. And like I've showed in earlier videos, many times I'll do immersion heating in here to keep a clean pot. The next step up a little bit more is when I go to my cook set. Now this is one of the vintage Boy Scout cook sets that has the steel pan and pot to it. And I've got a little extra accessory in here that the average person don't have. And this is not the cheap little aluminum one like you pick up at Walmart. Completely different. I have the steel mixing bowl. I have the stew pot. I have the cup. I have the lid for the stew pot. I have the extra plate, which is actually just another skillet without the handle on it. And then I have the seasoned steel skillet right here. With this, I can fry up and create many different meals. I can take and I can bake, I can deep fry, I can whatever I need to do on the fire, and it works very, very well like this. And I've done several things in other videos demonstrating how I perform this. Now, this kit works when I'm going to be at camp for a little bit and I'm going to have time to cook. I carry my larder bag, like I've said in my earlier videos, which has basic components of flour and other things that I can combine in different combinations to create what I want. Anything from pancakes up to breads to soup, stews, whatever, based upon how I arrange those components. With this, that's more than enough for me. Now at this point, I leave the meat. Then I go to my Pathfinder bush pot set, because now I'm stepping up. I'm going to be cooking more than just for me. Maybe my wife's going, or maybe me and a buddy are going to be sharing cooking duties, so I need to scale up. Plus, maybe it's really hot and I'm having to boil water. I want a larger container to boil water so that I can fill up my canteens all at one time. And the whole idea is scale it up to the situation. Now, as you know what this is, it's just the Pathfinder bush pot, stove, and accessories. Now this is big enough to cook a big pot of stew or whatever for 2 people. That's enough for 2 people to eat. It's also a big coffee pot. It's also a big water purification pot. It's also immersion heating for 2 people, where you pick what you want, you bring the canned goods, we put in the Ziploc bags and put in this and boil, and we still got a clean pot type concept. But I've left the me, I've scaled up, and now I'm doing an us, okay? Now taking it a little bit higher up, I'll go to my big family cook set, because now I'm not just cooking for me, I may be cooking for several people. And I just added a piece of gear to this. At my Southern Woodsmans Rendezvous, the gathering I put together, a gentleman came up and gifted me this as a present, you know, a thank you, and I'm just floored by it and just tickled by it. And I didn't know they still made these things, so let me show you this up close. I've got several cool handle skillets, but this is a Lodge steel skillet. The handle slides off. Made in the USA, steel skillet. I mean, cast iron, cast sheet steel, and it's got a silicone handle that will make it cool for grabbing. I can take it off when I'm needing to get it close to the fire, and I can slide it on real quick to get it off the fire. This will be going into my kit set. Now, for those of you going to ask, how'd I get it, where'd I get it? There's the barcode. But it's a Lodge skillet. I'm sure you'd be able to go online and find it. That's about a, I'd say about a 8-10 inch across, something like that. Now in the past I've used a cool handle skillet for this type of job, and sometimes I've carried a smaller pot and carried a fry pan, because what are we doing? We're frying fish, we're frying a lot of bacon, we're doing whatever meat, and maybe my job as part of the group is to bring the skillet and do all the skillet work, fry the eggs in the morning, whatever, and that's where this will come in very, very handy. So I've scaled up a little bit. My small one that's part of my Boy Scout set, and I have a cool handle steel skillet the same size as that. One of my most near and dear friends still handles the me, and this is the scale up in the skillet line. Now, the Dutch oven. The Dutch oven originated in what we now call Scandinavia area, and came into the Americas probably through New York because there were such Dutch immigrants there. Thus it got the name of the Dutch oven. It serves a great job as a camp cooking tool. Now there are two kinds of Dutch ovens. One has the rounded dome lid on it, and the other one has this sunken coal lid on it. I prefer the coal lid that also has the legs underneath it, because I'm going to be cooking on a campfire. The other type can serve as well, but to me this is more convenient. Like I say, these legs get broke off, you just ain't taking care of your gear. You know, I bet you if I put a little bitty leg on top of that Porsche or whatever, you'd take care of it. So just be mindful of it. Don't be swinging it and banging it into things. It will break it. I personally use 3 different sizes of Dutch ovens. I have a big deep pot one that's about an 8 inch. When we say 8 inch, it's how wide it is across the top of it. I have an 8 inch and I have a 10 inch. For my usage, me, my wife, and up to 4 people, this has been more than sufficient over the years. Now the Dutch oven is the most versatile of all, and you can get away with carrying just a Dutch and not carrying these others because of the different cooking methods that you can do with the Dutch oven. The lid of the Dutch oven can be turned upside down and put into onto a bed of coals or whatever, and it becomes a grill. Now you notice it's a little concave, so it acts like a shallow wok. I can crack eggs, whatever, up here and fry on this part. The main body of it is a nice deep pot with a flat bottom. Again, I can fry and do stuff in here. I can boil, I can parch, I can do whatever I need to do inside of this little bitty pot. By combining the two, I have something that's very fuel efficient, because by sealing up the lid I'm not losing heat, and that concave lid acts as a baster. It constantly rebastes it. So I can put stews, roasts, anything in here and cook it, and it will baste it. Since I can also add a little bit of weight, it can act like a, well, there's already a bit of a steaming action because of the weight of this heavy lid. But suppose I want to really do some heavy duty steaming and cook something that's fairly tough fairly quickly. I've done this before. What I have done is cubed up a piece of meat. It's kind of tough. I put it into the Dutch oven. I've filled it up with water or broth or whatever I'm cooking for. I've got it on the fire, got it to a good rolling boil, and then I've added extra weight to the top of this. Well, that makes the lid not want to come up as easy, and it adds up the pressure. It will still burp steam around it. Don't worry, you're not going to seal it up. Now, don't put a 50-pound weight on it, but like 2 more pounds worth of stuff, you can do that. I've actually put just sand up here on top of it before and made the lid go from weighing like 2 pounds to 3 pounds or 4 pounds. Well, that increases the pressure that the steam's got to do to push out, and therefore it's pushing harder into the meat. And I can tenderize meat faster with that. The biggest one I carry, oh boy, she's been a little stiff today. Come on, baby. There we go. This is a 10-inch. This is an 8-inch. Give you an idea. Now they make them in all kinds of sizes. My deep pot is a bit deeper than a standard Dutch oven, but it has all the exact same features and everything. And I call this one the stew pot. Now this is perfect for about 4 to 6 people depending on what you're cooking. I make a big pot of cobbler in this. I make a big pot of stew in this. I do roast and rice and things like that in this. The big 10-inch is used almost exclusively whenever I'm cooking for large groups, 8, 9 people. Because I can generate enough in here to give a meal to at least 4 to 6 people. I mean a good meal. And if it's an accessory, like I'm cooking some sort of vegetable or cobbler or something to other cook sets, then I can get up as many as 10 people depending on what I'm cooking. These can also be stacked. And if you do a little research on Dutch ovens, you'll see that. You'll start out with a bed of coals. You will put your first Dutch down with X amount of whatever in it, and you put coals on top of the lid. Then you put your next Dutch oven. Now the heat from that one is heating the bottom. You add a few coals to the top of this, and you put your final Dutch up there. And this is called a stack. Now all of them are sharing heat coming up. And I would have, like in the bottom one, a meat or something like that. I would have in the next one, I would have a vegetable. In the top, I'd have some sort of dessert, all cooking together at the same time. You can do breads, you can do pastries, you can do just about anything you can do in a home oven with a little bit of time and practice, you can do in a Dutch oven. And so it, to me, is the ultimate scaled up to accessory. Now, there are a lot of accessories for Dutch ovens, and you'll have to make the decision on what you want. There is a pot lid setter. It's very convenient when you pull the pot lid off to have something to sit it on. I quite often will use a cleaned off piece of firewood or 3 tent stakes sticking straight up, spaced out, so the lid can sit on it level. I've also done 3 iron tent stakes like that and put fire under it and set that on top for a grill, pushing the coals underneath it. They make a pot lid lifter, which is very handy for checking the contents. But what I use is an old pair of channel locks. I just open it up so it will grip but not be, like crushing tight, so my hand is not, crunchy. Pick up, and I can go to the side and tip it and dump the coals or ash off and come back very easily. I can also rotate the lid, and I can grab the bail of it and rotate as well, depending on what I'm doing. Grab, pick up, and rotate. But that'll be more whenever we get to actually cooking with them. Well, this video is going on long enough. But in conclusion, guys, what you need to do is determine what are my cooking needs for this event. And that's what you go with. I have all of these up on a shelf in my study. I come in and I decide what food I'm taking, and then I grab the appropriate cook set for what I need. Now, suppose I don't even need a cook set. I'm going on mostly a hike, and it's going to be an overnighter. I don't have to carry a cook set. I can carry an MRE. I can carry pre-made, ready-to-go food that can be eaten right out of a can, and all I need to carry is a spoon. So I adjust. That's the very bottom end of this, of no cook set, because the food that I'm carrying doesn't require it. And then I work my way up. till finally the Dutch oven. Hope this gives you an idea, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Until next time, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.